So we're going to do the top 10 characters for the month of November 2025. And we haven't done this list in a while, but it's always one of my most liked videos. So if you liked the last one, thank you very much for watching it. And we're going to go over this list, and it's in no particular order. And some of them are going to be offshoots of other characters. And there's more than 10 characters. So the first one we're going to talk about is Franklin. And I just want to say that this is the Fantastic Four MCU team in general. Specifically, the Fantastic Three, the new ones. They're being used in all game modes. They're very useful in Arena. And also, they're the characters that I've been taking to ISO 5. Definitely going to be using them to get Blue Marvel. So when I talk about Franklin Richards, I think he's going to be the most plug-and-play viable going forward because of his passive, doing some things like what Emma X does. I like this guy a lot, and I think that upgrading and working on the Fantastic 3 and the Fantastic 4 in MCU is a no-brainer. Not a lot of problems in that respect. I don't think you're going to regret it. And like I said, I already took this guy to ISO 5. Next on the list, we're going to talk about some oldies but goodies, is Mephisto. Mephisto is still a problematic character. Love using him on offense. Now, in this case, with this character is Mephisto used to be extremely good on defense. And what I have found in Marvel Strike Force is that as time goes on, characters that are a mess on defense, as they get power crept, as they keep coming out of the meta, instead of being on defense, they go onto offense. And that's where Mephisto is right now. He's definitely moved to offense, but he has the ability going very early in the match. He has some options with the different packs. Plus, he's got a passive that does some silly things like prevent, revive. So is he going to be power crapped and be falling off this list? Yeah, at some point in the future, for sure, he will be falling off, but I still think he makes the top 10. Next we have is Quasar. I love Quasar. I mean, obviously Quasar is amazing in war, but we also have to consider that this is a part of the Nihilist track as a legendary. Quasar is, of course, insane in war, but I'm also getting excellent use out of him in Cosmic Crucible. He hits like a truck. Absolutely. And we got him for free, right? We get with top 10 character without having to do some hoops or anything like that. He pretty much was given to all the members in the community that participated in engagement over a month. And we're going to talk about Quasar because Quasar is on this list as well. Next, we have to talk about Odin. Odin is still a one-man army. Absolutely can use Odin in so many different spots. Same thing is true with Odin, as I said, with Mephisto, is that used to be that Odin was just like a true nightmare on defense in multiple different places, but now we have a lot of tools to take care of Odin. However, on offense, I'm finding that if I could put him together in a team where he survives long enough to get his the battlefield effect up and running, he's gonna just wreck nerds. This guy's still amazing, not being used in Arena currently, but without a doubt, Odin is a top 10 character. He might be top 2 still. Yeah, let's just say Odin's still second best character of the game. Second, of course, to Professor X, which is a different animal when I think about the way that characters have been released. And we'll talk about that when we get to Professor X. There he is! Professor X looking really slick over there. So Professor X is interesting, very strong, does some really cool things. Of course, I love this guy. However, I just want to put this out here. When I think about how strong Mephisto was when Mephisto came out, when I think about how strong Odin was when he came out, I don't get that same feeling with Professor X. Is Professor X strong? Yes. Is he useful in Arena? Absolutely. Is he useful in all game modes? Yes. Is he the best character in the game? Yes. But I don't think he is as strong as Odin was when Odin came out, nor do I think he is as strong as Mephisto when Mephisto came out. Now, you could also say that about Super Skrull. Now, Super Skrull's not on the list, but when Super Skrull came out, bonkers. I mean, the same thing you could say too with Ultron. When Ultron came out and was up and running, bonkers. So he's a little bit different. I'm not disappointed with him, but he just doesn't seem as dominant and just like crazy Definitely useful in arena, and it's definitely a haves and have-not situation in arena. But we are getting tools to deal with this guy. But I know sometimes if I don't have the right setup in Crucible, I often end up sacking, that fantastic 3 and Mephisto team. Not Mephisto, Professor X. You know what I mean by that. Okay, Blastar. Now, a lot of people saying Blastar is a one-trick pony, and actually he was one character that I kind of debated putting on the list. Like I wasn't 100% sold on putting Blastar on this list, but he is a part of the Nihilist track. He's also going to get stronger with Thunderstrike. Thunderstrike is not on the list. I haven't used him, but he's definitely out there in the wild. Probably should have put Thunderstrike on the list, but he's the next legendary that is a part of that path that makes up, Quasar, Blastar on the way to a Nihilist. Also worth mentioning, not on the list, but a character that synergizes insanely good with Blastar is going to be Kahori. And when I was doing my initial rough draft of picking out characters, Kahori was on the list, but then I pulled her off. But I just wanted to mention that Kahori is amazing because she does all the basic attacks. Also, I'm going to say this. I like Blastar in that he has to be played a certain way. There's benefits to using basic attacks. It does require some strategy. And I think that's a welcome experience here in Marvel Strike Force, is that when you're playing a team with Blastar, some thought has got to go into as how to play it. Next, we're going to talk about Null. And Null is a total powerhouse now that we have him at 7 red, 7 yellow. I got to say, specifically in Alliance War and in Crucible right now, I have underestimated Null several times. And I think that mostly has to do with how strong he is now, specifically when the Carnage is out there and the turn meter they get. It is a nightmare. And there's so many cool things that Null does. Also worth mentioning the synergy there with Gore and Carnage. Gore is not on the list, but I'm seeing these nightmare teams where Null is paired up with Gore. Also not on the list is Sentry. Sentry is going to be the next Battle World character for sure. I'm guessing that Sentry is going to be here too, but not in the game. He's in the game, but nobody has him yet. But I'm expecting Sentry over time to be just as powerful as Null is. Next, Old Man Logan. Now, probably could have pulled Old Man Logan off this list, but I just wanted to talk about Old Man Logan here for a minute because I'm still using him a lot. He is a pre-Ares character, so he doesn't have the stats like a lot of other characters have in Marvel Strike Force, but I did put him on the list because I just wanted to talk about the difference between Blastar and Old Man Logan. When Old Man Logan came to the game, he was a nightmare, so dominant. And I think about Blastar coming to the game and it's like, I'm even hearing rumblings about Thunderstrike. And I know Thunderstrike is meant to be paired up with Blastar inside of Crucible and all of that, but I still get tons of use out of Old Man Logan. Once Old Man Logan gets going and he gets that revive up on himself and then he's got his claws out and he's just doing dumb stuff, wrecking nerds. I love this guy. I really, Old Man Logan is probably going to have a place in my heart for a long time, and it's going to be a sad day when I pull him off this list, and he definitely was on the chopping block for sure. Okay, this is a character that's not really on the list, but I wanted to put him on the list just because. Apocalypse. And the reason why I put Apocalypse on the list is because we're still using Apocalypse in a lot of places for 2 reasons, and this is going to be what I say, like a whole group of characters that do things with their passives that are still very useful. So one of the things he does is he stops Space Guard on spawn, and also he is a counter to OG Emma. So I also wanted to put him in the category of Nightcrawler does something similar to that. Blue Marvel does something similar to that. And since we're talking about OG Emma is not on this list, but maybe she should have been. She's so important right now. We're using OG Emma in so many different places. And the new Emma X, yeah, the passives on those characters are amazing. I don't think they need to be built up. Don't think you should be dumping resources in Apocalypse, but we're still getting tons of uses out of this character. And for now, Even though he's a pre-Aries character, he's still getting used with some of his stats. But if we see him in arena, he doesn't have the stats to keep up. He gets blown away pretty quickly, and so on and so on. Next, we got to talk about Damon Hellstrong. And this is a guy that I am spending my chapter currency on right now. This is Icarus 2.0. He is bonkers, especially at higher stars and diamonds. This guy is a force. If he can go first and kill somebody, he's going to double tap, and it is lights out. He's also natively pretty fast with base stats. Bonkers, I'm telling you, wrecks nerds in war. Generally, I am not wanting to spend the chapter currency. So I'm talking about sigil, right? The sigil currency on new characters, because this was just like a normal release character. But no, I am, every reset, I'm buying the shards. I'm trying to get him up and running as fast as possible. Right now, I've got him at 5, and I'm working on getting him to 6. I love this guy, and he's one of the few characters on this list that is just like a normal character, as opposed to like a Dark Dimension character or something like that. All right, we're gonna get close to the end of the list. Got to talk about Blue Marvel. Don't have Blue Marvel yet. Blue Marvel is definitely gonna make waves. I can't speak to where he fits on this list, but for sure he's on this list. And I suppose we could include Thunderstrike in this conversation, and also we could include Sentry in this conversation with Blue Marvel. But right now, Blue Marvel is the chase. Till the end of the year, there's availability of getting red stars if you finish the event for Blue Marvel, and that's all currently tied around getting a gear tier 20. No, that's not true. Purple ISO 5. This guy's event is all tied around purple ISO 5, and so he made the list. I gotta go over here and pull my notepad because I think there's some characters I didn't talk about, and I just wanted to make sure that there were some characters. I wanted to also consider putting Havoc on the list because I use Havoc on my arena team, but I do think he's kind of a one-trick pony. Also, there was some conversation about the usefulness of Songbird. So, who did I miss? Who do you think should have made the list? Who are you big fans of? What's your top 10 list look like? And just remember, every time you leave a video a thumbs up, you've got 4 fingers pointed back at yourself.